This is Steve Young for the Caux Roundtable. This is my third conversation with Rich Bentz, who's our expert on asking you sort of who you are and giving you feedback. He's a professional in the field of organizational psychology, very studied, and he's had experience in different cultures. Rich, you use this concept mindset. What struck me over the number of years that we've worked with you and we've had people take the decision styles inventory is that those people around the Caux Roundtable work tend to filter into sort of one part of the outcome. They tend to be people who are more thinkers than doers, and they tend to be people who are more comfortable in a we setting about people than being sort of lone rangers off on their own. Does that mean we have sort of a groupthink, one kind of mindset? What are mindsets?
That's a good question. Mindsets basically are the way in which you perceive the world and yourself in the world. Oftentimes it's based on what you believe, on values. Clearly your personality takes into account a number of those dimensions, or inserts biases as we were. And actually in my work, as I do work a lot with mindsets to demonstrate relationships among things, the difference between linear thinking and nonlinear thinking. There's lots of opportunities to use mindsets. And so as I have created a number of different inventories and tools to do that, we create them to either create a new mindset that has never existed before, that people really haven't thought about, or we develop one to reinforce the kinds of things that they're doing, or we create one to create an awareness of things that are already there, ideas that are already there, and so on. You'd mentioned that many of the people that you've invited to take the DSI kind of cluster around a particular area. That's not all that uncommon, actually, because you've asked the same types of people in a more academic and educated world. They likely would be of a certain mindset. So that's not surprising. If we were to do a representative sample of the world, or of the US or Minnesota or whatever, likely we'd get a lot more diversity. And perhaps that even identifies or creates a calling for us to move into other areas. But I also think even when people have a mindset, a particular mindset, it's helpful for us to create these continuums and use what polarity management oftentimes does.
Polarity management?
Polarity management basically is the practice of honoring the opposite and trying to demonstrate the dynamic equilibrium, or the alignment between those two.
So it's not like you've got two poles and the best place to be is right exactly in the middle.
The use of, well, you might want to get to that, to the middle, but oftentimes people with real strong mindsets only see what their mindset
so they tend to be on one end, one of the poles.
Closer to one
of the poles.
Likely, because what more is there to the world than what I believe?
What I see, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so in polarity management, oftentimes, and they talk about showing the blind spot. It's something you don't see.
So you're managing your way out of a blindness towards a broader vision of what's going on around you.
Precisely. And basically, whenever you have a continuum, you start by looking at the opposite ends. Oh, I need to know what this is. I need to know what this is, so I can even talk about it. And then you move. Well,
but you're using, Rich, the term management, which indicates to me this is under your control. You're not like driven by your preconceptions. you can manage your viewpoints.
You can learn your viewpoint.
You can learn new viewpoints.
Yeah, and I would say that's what polarity management actually does. Yeah. And again, at this point, I'd like to demonstrate or give you an example of just how powerful and where mindsets fit in your life. And as you mentioned earlier, I've been doing a lot of work with trust these days. And so trust could be a mindset, let's say, for a minute. Let me read something to you. Love at first sight. I remember. Instantly, I knew I was in love. I walked right up to her, introduced myself. We talked. We shared numbers and basic information. We had lunch together, and on it went. When in love, the mindset rules. The behavior follows. Trust is like love. Your mindset will set the path for your behavior and your actions. Whatever you do will be based on that level of trust. So if you have the mindset of being in love, mindset is first and then you act on it.
Very quickly, as we end this segment, is being a leader a mindset? Is being of service to others a mindset?
It ought to be.
I mean, it can be. I mean, can I make it my mindset?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
This is Steve Young for the Caux Roundtable. Please join us for another conversation with Rich Bentz about the decision style inventory and becoming a good leader.